Hey everyone, how's it going? Today I'll be reviewing the Superman animated series for my DC Universe reviews. Okay, as Batman the animated series was awesome, this show was awesome as well. The animation was great, and the voice actors were amazing as usual. One of my favorites was Darkseid and Mixie Spitleg. Those were the best choice of voices for those two characters. Um, and then we have great guest appearances like Green Lantern, Batman, obviously. And then we have The Flash, Aquaman, and Doctor Fate, and Lobo. Um, I think there was another, though. I think there was another superhero crossover, but I can't remember right. It'll probably come back to me eventually. Um, but yeah, the shows had a lot of crossovers. Um, well, not really crossovers, just guest appearances. The only real crossover was the Batman animated series crossover. But yeah, the show had a lot of guest appearances. And it kind of started the whole thing with continuity for other shows. They have this show connected to other shows, kind of like a comic book series, where a comic book series will probably have one thing happen in a different series. Kind of like I really hate to have this, for example, Countdown, which I recommend never reading. Never read Countdown. Just avoid it at all costs. Okay. Because, for example, in Static Shock, Static had to help Superman take down Toyman because Toyman is after this robot what he created in Superman animated series episode, um, which I think was named Darby. I don't know if her name was Darby, but it was like a Barbie parody name. Um, and Then we have a Batman Beyond episode where Superman where it explains what happened to Ra's al Ghul after this Superman Batman crossover, where they explain what happened to Ra's al Ghul after that episode, and then we have this other episode, Batman Beyond, where Batman Beyond has to fight Starro, which is explained because Starro is one of these endangered species that were captured by this guy who kidnapped Lobo and Superman. When Superman took him down, he grabbed all the endangered species, not actually grabbed them, but took them all to the Fortress of Solitude so they could live peacefully. But unknown to him, Starro was planning to control his body. So he studied him for years before he actually did it. Um, and I thought that was pretty good. One of my favorite episodes had to have been the Lois Lane going to an ultra dimension, and in that world, she sees that Superman and Lex are working together, and they're controlling the world. Well, I think it's just Metropolis or the world with an iron fist, not a giant fist. But yeah, that was actually one of my favorite episodes. An episode I think was almost as great as that was this episode where Superman. It's like the season. It's a two-parter series finale where Superman is brainwashed by Darkseid to work for him and believe that he is that Darkseid's his father, well, adopted father. He still they kept the whole he was from Krypton, but instead of landing on Earth, he was he'd landed on Apocalypse, but it never really happened. It was just brainwashing, um, and those were one of my favorite episodes next to the Doctor Fate crossover. And in that episode, that kind of shows that Superman already met Doctor Fate, and I found that weird because when did that happen? I looked around, I looked through all the episodes, never even saw an episode where Superman already knew Doctor Fate. So I thought that was pretty interesting that they already knew each other. Um, but what happens in that episode is that Superman has to fight this evil demon, which what is controlling all the people on the Daily Planet, turn them into monsters, and Superman has to take this thing down without killing the monsters because they're Lois and Jimmy and all the other people at the Daily Planet. They're innocent people. So he goes to Doctor Fate to ask for help, but he says, "No, I'm not going to help you. Every time I take down evil, it just comes back. There's no point. I give up." But in the end of the episode, he would snap out of it and just go and become Doctor Fate again and help Superman out and defeat the demon. I thought that was just a really awesome episode. Like Doctor Fate, I think is just a really interesting character in the DC universe. I also like how they brought in characters in these different, unique ways. Uh, Two of them, for example, one I'm really I'm okay with, the other one I'm just wondering why. Uh, First is Supergirl, which I thought was pretty good because it can keep her on the show, but not make Superman. They'll keep Superman's last son of Krypton, because that was the problem with Supergirl in the older comics. Like now she's Superman's cousin, but um, in the old comics, they did have DC had a problem with that because they believed that Superman had way too much Kryptonian stuff, like the horse, the freaking dog, which they kept, the cat and the monkey and the cousin. So they decided to just say, heck with that, just gonna kill all those characters, and they did. They killed off Supergirl, and Krypto was the only one that stayed. So Superman still had his dog. But yeah, Supergirl is gone, and this show can have Supergirl in here without her really being Superman's cousin. It's just, she's just been adopted by Superman, like how the Kents adopted him, except she's his cousin, not his daughter. And then we have Kyle Rayner, which I think is kind of odd, because it's basically they make him a combination of the Kyle Rayner from the comics and the Hal Jordan, because in the Justice League animated series, we see Kyle Rayner wearing the costume he would wear in the comics. Not the one where he has the really big mask, but the one where he's wearing a smaller mask. And, and a costume that is, similar to Hal Jordan's, but, or more of Jon Stewart's. But yeah, it still look pretty cool. And, but he would have the design more, but his looks would look a little bit like a younger Hal Jordan, and his origin would be like Hal Jordan's with Abin Sur crashing down Earth, telling his ring to find someone who, it finds worthy. It finds Kyle Rayner. Kyle Rayner becomes a Green Lantern. He's fighting Sinestro, who's already evil at that time. Because, and that whole idea of him, having human apprentice is still there because Jon Stewart's Green Lantern at that time as well. Also, I just find it weird because, they even have, this little bit where Kyle Rayner's getting smacked around by Sinestro. He crashes, well, not really crashes, but he hits this plane. The plane has this writing saying Hal Jordan. So they had that little thing there. Which I thought was, which is basically showing a little wink to the fans. Even though I really would have preferred if, we had the whole thing with Parallax in there. I thought that would have been awesome. We have Parallax there, and Kyle Rayner has to take him down. Like I said, that'd be pretty cool. And if anyone's gonna say, well, we would have to have freaking Hal Jordan and Superman meet each other. Well, no, not really. They could just do what they did with Dr. Fate and just say that they already know each other. So, yeah. I really enjoyed this show. It's really fun to watch. This is the number one thing for Superman fans. And that's all I really gotta say. The next one will have the New Adventures of Batman series. Goodbye.